All right, we're going to finish this really quick. So for those of you who have not been watching me or anything like that, I was live just a few minutes ago and the power went out. So we have a big storm here on the East Coast. So this is just wrapping everything up for you guys because I wanted to finish things off. I have no idea where I left off, guys. So go listen to the last recording, okay? This is just wrapping things up on short-term objectives and goals. And this is series, well, it's a series of 4, but this is number 2. And we've just been talking about, goals and objectives and how they should look and the process of how that should look and kind of step by step on your measurable goals, okay? Then, of course, we get into other things, right? So for those of you who are just catching me right now, number 1, go back and listen to the one like 5 minutes ago. Number 2, if you're new to watching me live, post a 1 below. If you're an oldie but goodie, post a 2 below. And thank you for joining me. My name is Raven Woods, and I'm the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks IEP, and I help parents gain the knowledge and the confidence to become the CEO of their IEP meeting. All right. So basically, we are just finishing this up, and I was getting ready to go over with you short-term objectives one more time. So they generally break the skills described in the annual goal, like we were talking about in that last video, into discrete components, all right? And that is important to understand, and that's why they have different dates, and you want to have them on the dates of when your progress reports are going to come out. I'm going to rush because we're having a big storm. All right. So in talking about your short-term objectives and moving forward with them and wrapping this up, you need to determine the evaluative criteria. All right. So you have frequency, you have duration, you have distance, and you have accuracy. All right. So if you go back and listen to the other video, you'll know that we talked about frequency being 9 out of 10 trials, right? Duration being for what? 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Distance, that could be more mathematical. And accuracy, 90%, right? So that is the things that need to be in your goals and short-term objectives. All right. So if you want to determine the evaluation and the procedures to measure your child's progress, you want to make sure that you can have a procedure in place to identify the method that's going to be used to measure that progress. Like I said, report data collection should be on every single goal. You can then add written work. You can then add assessments, quizzes, etc. But always have report data collection. That's written data, that's solid stuff that's been written out in speech or for math or whatever it is that each and every day report data collection is collected. All right. And short-term objectives for that can include, different measures of, ways in which to enable that progress to be monitored. And they also allow for a determination at that point of how that objective is accomplished. And that's where you break down your short-term objectives. Okay. So procedures to be used are report data collection, report data collection, report data collection. But also you can also use test performance, like we were just saying, criterion referenced tests, even parent reports. You can do, of course, observation, which I don't like that one. All right. The only thing that I think should be observation is an FBA by a BCBA. Yeah. So report data collection, written work, assessments, criterion reference tests, and that's it. Written work, written data, but observation, you can't prove that to me. So that's not going to be okay with me. Unless it's an FBA where observation has to happen for the BCBA to find the antecedent to then figure out where the behavior is coming from. But work, as far as work and a work goal, observation's not going to cut it, because those goals can be measured in so many other ways, and report data collection is number one. Written data, okay? Show me the work. If it's your child's handwriting, show me the work. Show me the handwriting. Show me the handwriting from September to December. Let's see if it improved. Proof is in the pudding, right? But if they don't provide you the data, how are you going to know it improved? What about that progress report that you received that says, oh, they're making progress? What about those words, they're making progress, is going to prove to you that from September to December, that handwriting improved? It's not. So how do you prove to me? I'm not going to believe anybody. This is my child's education. You got to prove it to me. Prove to me that it is done, that there's progress made, it's been mastered, whatever the case may be. Because when that is done repetitively, and that is done on a quarterly basis, or actually it's less than that. If kids get report cards every 9 to 12 weeks, then that's when you should be receiving a progress report. And so if that's the case, then I want to see progress. Every progress report. And after 2 progress reports and there's no progress, then what happens? We go back to the table and we figure out what is not working and fix it before it's too late. Because then what happens is they'll say, oh, just give them some time. They're going to learn. Give them some time. They just need time to figure it out. There's changes in the classroom. Let's just give them some time. And the more time you give, instead of change it up and figure out what's not working, because there can always be a reason for more time. You only have so much time. And our children learn at their own pace as it is, and not in the same way as everybody else. So we want to take away that excuse and know what's an excuse, what is true. When they do need more time, when they don't need more time, it just becomes a verbiage in which people say. Or is it simply that your child actually does need more time? So you have to become really good at navigating that. And the way for you to do that is the data. All right? The more data you're given, the more you're able to make a decision in an adequate way, and also give you the opportunity to adequately participate in the IEP meeting as an equal member by having data and knowing what you're talking about. You got to have data to know what you're talking about, because how are you going to talk about goals if you don't know about the data? And if you don't know about the data, you don't have anything to say about the goal because you don't even know where the goal is. Okay? All right. So I think that's it, guys. Goodness. So just so you know, schedules to determine how often the objectives and the goals and short-term objectives are going to be measured it can be 1 week, 2 weeks, it can be a month, it can be 6 weeks, 9 weeks, by summer, annually, whatever, okay? I always say you have an annual goal, then you have a goal based on every time you have a progress report come out, okay? And that's how your short-term objectives should be lined up. So you should have an annual goal, 3 short-term objectives, and that's it. And each short-term objective, you either have supportive data given to you with it and put that into your IEP, or you have an IEP meeting every 12 weeks to go over data. Okay? So that's it. Thank goodness I didn't lose any more light. So if you're catching this now, go watch the video right before this, because I lost power. And so this one's just kind of wrapping it up, okay? So tomorrow we're going to talk about a lot of your questions that you have in regards to goals, measurable goals, data, short-term objectives, and all that fun stuff. And we're going to talk in depth about how this should really look right now, and what should you change What should you keep the same? Should you change anything at all? I'm going to let you ponder on that. But I want you guys to be well aware of where we are right now in today's society. And, you know, what you really need to be looking at and what you really don't need to be looking at. And it's important to understand that because you want to make sure that everything that you're doing is important. And look, my light fell out. Oh, there it is. You want to make sure that everything that you're doing is important and is going to meet the needs of your child. All right? And you want to make sure that everything you do, I was wondering what this was. I was like, what is that pink thing? That everything you do is going to get you to where you need to be able to see everything that your child's doing and the whole picture. You do not, at the end of the day, want to be questioning why you didn't ask this or that question, or why you weren't hard on whoever pushed you and your question off. And what I mean by hard is asking hard, direct, specific questions and expect answers. Clear, solid answers. Okay? Stop being pushed off. One thing I'm going to mention really quickly before I hop off is please don't be one of those parents that wants to be friends with their IEP team. That doesn't mean be enemies. That doesn't mean, be mean or evil. It just means that you're not friends, guys. You're not. Do you go to the movies with them? Are you hanging out? Do you Facebook them? Do you FaceTime them? Are you calling them on their phone at home? Are you hanging out at birthday parties? You're not friends. It's a business relationship. They are doing a service to your child, for your child. Okay? And that service has to produce progress. IEP meetings, you being the CEO, okay, who should be running that meeting pretty much, of getting your questions answered, getting solid data, knowing from the team, including yourself, of what is going on, what is transpiring, what is working, what is not. If evaluations are done, let's come to the table. What did those evaluations say? What needs to be changed in the present levels? Don't not allow data, data, evaluations, and certain progress not immediately go into your IEP as an amendment. Don't miss that. Don't let them tell you it has to be done at the end of the year. It doesn't. If your child mastered a goal, put that in the present levels. If your child had an evaluation, put that in the IEP. If your child had a psychoeducational and their IQ is now different, put that in the present levels and in the IEP immediately. Don't put it in a year later or at your annual, or be told that you can't have an IEP until the annual so that can then be added, or that's when it's going to be added. No, immediately. Amend my IEP. Stick it in there. Okay? And don't be adamant about that I have to get along for my child to be treated appropriately. No. If anything, guys, it's the opposite. Parents who don't speak up, typically, not all the time, their kids can be swept under the rug. Parents that are big mouths and ride the school's butt because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. My goal is for them all to do what they're supposed to do and put me out of business. But that's not happening. So since that's not happening, you need to make sure that everything's being done for your child the way it needs to be. And you need to make sure that everything that is said is backed up with data. Okay? Make sure that you get that done. And like I was saying, if you are that parent, are the person that speaks up and doesn't have a problem speaking up and asking those hard questions that, may offend somebody. Oh, well, it's about your kid. It's not personal, guys. It's not personal. I say that all the time. It's not personal. This is about my child, and nothing is a no to talk about. Everything is on the table when it comes to my child and my child's education, well-being, safety, etc. So don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to say things. When you become that parent, they're more in tune with your child, and they're more at that, okay, no, make sure his IEP is followed. Unfortunately. And the child that, and this isn't all the time, don't take this personally, teachers, okay? But the children that get swept under the rugs, do you think those parents are the ones that speak up? I'm not saying that the parents that speak up, their children haven't been thrown under the rug. But I'm saying the parents that speak up, typically their children are no longer thrown under the rug. And parents that don't speak up and don't say anything are the ones that in 2 years, 3 years, come back to the table and say, why is my child not making progress? And I don't want you guys to make those mistakes. I don't want you to make the mistakes that I made and paid dearly for it. And that's part of why I do what I do, is because I do not want families going through the hell that I did and have gone through because of the games that are played, the information not given, procedures not followed, and laws not adhered to. All I want is for school systems to adhere to the law, to not sweep our children under the rug, to not do anything because parents aren't saying anything. My daughter is a teacher. She directly told me, Mom, teachers fudge stuff all the time. They don't have another choice. What are they supposed to do? My own daughter's not going to lie to me. And she's a teacher in Northern Virginia. It happens all the time, guys. I'm a teacher. I know it happens. But hearing it from teachers that are here right now, teaching right now, to say, Mom, special ed teachers have to fudge what's going on. If they don't, what else are they going to do? They can't keep up. They're given too much work, and how are they supposed to all do it? That's what she said. So my job is to keep you knowledgeable. Not be a Debbie Downer, but to keep you knowledgeable. I look at it like I didn't learn what I've learned by not asking questions. I've not learned what I've learned and have helped other parents because I didn't go through it myself. It's kind of one of those things where when you've been through it, you know a lot of those mistakes that you just don't want anybody else making. And they're costly mistakes with this. This isn't, mistakes, guys, that they're not mistakes where it's okay that this mistake happened and, no big deal. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Mistakes happen, which they do. But how many mistakes do you want someone making with your child to where it's just not okay anymore? I see it all the time with behavior as well. Happens all the time. Where schools are not voicing when behaviors are impeding the child's behavior. I'm dealing with a situation right now where a child has behavior issues. He threw something out a school window, shattered the window, and then also threw away keys of the teachers because he was frustrated, angry, etc. Which, are you supposed to blame the child? No, he has behavior issues. What's the problem there? Is the problem that he threw the keys away? And then what happened was the janitor got the keys. The keys ended up a no-go and no-show. Teacher couldn't get home, you know the rest. Is it a little bit funny? Yes. But what's not funny is the keys are gone. Okay, yeah, that sucks. I mean, it's kind of funny when I say it. Okay, the keys, he put the keys in the trash. Is that such a big deal? No. But keys are expensive. I know my little clicker thing. They're like $300, I think they said at Toyota. But no, seriously, guys. So of those two things, do you know? No de-escalation plan. No BIP. The school's taking the parent to court over the keys. $300 for the keys. For a child who has behavior issues that they are not giving a BIP to, and that has no de-escalation plan. I think this school system is out of their damn mind. And these are the procedural violations going on today. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And now we have COVID. We have a lot of issues, you know, getting ready to happen. I wish I could say things are going to get better, not worse. That's not going to come out of my mouth. And we have to team up and hit this hard, because your child deserves FAPE, national pandemic or not. Your child deserves to make progress in lieu of their disability. Your child deserves to not be a guinea pig, and for trials to be tried out on them because the staff doesn't know how to take the right and accurate data to figure out what's working and what's not. Just like with anything else in this life, if something's not working, what do? We change it up. We figure out what works. It's like a puzzle. A lot of schools don't want to do that. Because what does that take? Resources. What does that take? Time and energy. They don't have the teachers and the staff and the heads to do all this for all of the children of need. And that's a big problem today that is aside from the educational system. So it's a lot to think about, and it's a lot to digest. I get it. But we have to make sure, especially right now, I mean, in all honesty, not especially right now, always, that your IEPs are in order. Okay? So message me if you have any questions. I have to go back to the old video because I know many people wrote questions and now I don't see them now because I'm on a new video because my electric went out. So I apologize for that. So if you're jumping on, post a 1 below if you're new, your first through third time. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. And make sure to go back and watch the other video because all the content really is there. Okay? So I will talk to you guys on Wednesday. We will do part 3 of the series, and Thursday will be part 4. We'll wrap it up. And then we're going to talk about a couple more things. COVID before school starts, more than likely the next week or the week after that. And we'll go from there. All right. So if you guys ever have questions for me, you can email me at support@autismMamaRocksTheIEP.com. That's support, SUPPORT, at autismMamaRocksTheIEP.com. Okay? I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. And again, go watch the other video. It got cut off right when I was wrapping things up because power outage. They're having a storm here on the East Coast, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. So I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great Monday.